Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Jason. Jason is from Kentucky in the USA. So let's see what Jason has to say. Enjoy the interview. Hello, I can see you now.
All right.
Hey Jason,
There
how
we
are
go.
you?
Doing well. Thanks for asking. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thanks so much. Thanks for taking the time on Saturday for the interview. Thank you.
No, you're welcome. My pleasure.
So Jason, how is your morning going so far?
Going well. Going well. I actually, what is it? 10 o'clock your time?
So now here it's a quarter to 6 p.m.
Oh, so it's at 6 p.m.?
Yeah, almost 6 p.m. Yeah.
Well, I poured me a Kentucky bourbon because it's 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock somewhere, right? So I thought it was going to be later. So I was going to have a cocktail with you.
Amazing, good one. Jason, before we start the game, just tell me where you're from.
So I'm from Lexington, Kentucky, and now I live in Louisville, Kentucky, which is an hour west. So Louisville is the largest city in Kentucky.
So tell me, what's the best part of living there, in your opinion?
Bourbon and betting on the horses. So, and there's actually surprisingly there's a lot of attractive people in this part of the country. So,
I see. And what do you do for a living?
So actually, I quit my job on the 11th of August, and just to pursue other opportunities. I have a drive for continuous improvement, and I just kind of hit a plateau with this the last job, and so I'm actually flying down to Jacksonville, Florida next week to possibly take on a position down there. So, but basically property management. I'm a regional supervisor. I'll put you to sleep if I go into details. It's an exciting job, but it sounds boring on paper.
Amazing. Good luck in the interview. Good luck.
Thank you.
And tell me, before we start our journey on William the Magic Box, I would like you to tell me something interesting about yourself.
Interesting about myself. Well, there's lots. Well, I'd say something that kind of sticks out. I actually survived a plane crash last June. So actually have the tickets hanging up on the wall as a reminder.
Wow.
But yeah, I was flying from Louisville to Chicago on an American Airlines flight, and our fuselage caught on fire when we were at 40,000 feet. And we dropped, I think, 35,000 feet in a minute and a half. So it was very, very, it was definitely memorable. So it definitely had an impact. So I have the tickets on the wall because I promised myself after that day that I wasn't going to let the little mundane day-to-day inconveniences bother me. And I was going to kind of look past those. That lasted about 2 weeks. So that's why I put it on the wall as a reminder.
Oh, wow. And tell me, if I don't know if it's okay to talk about now. Yeah? Oh, yeah. Tell me what happened afterwards when it folded. Like, tell me a little bit. Walk through.
We just hit. So Louisville to Chicago, it's the easiest flight. You get up to 40,000 feet. You idle for about 10 minutes, and then you start to descend. I do it all the time. But we had just hit 40,000 feet, and I put my headphones in and I put my head back, and this was during COVID. Wasn't a lot of people on the plane, and I was ironically sitting at the emergency exit by myself, and I kind of felt vibrations like as if people were running down the aisle. It was very bizarre because I had my eyes closed. Then I started to smell like a burning smell. And at that point, I opened my eyes because I could feel the plane going up and down. And the flight attendant was actually sitting diagonally across me, but facing the opposite direction, telling people to run to the front of the plane. And that's what the vibrations were, because people were running because the tail kept on diving. And as soon as and then she looked at me and she said, "Do you know how to work the emergency exit door?" And I took my headphones out and I said, "Whoa, is this really happening? Like, this is real life?" And she's like, "Yes." And I was like, And she was like, "All right, I'm just gonna come sit next to you." And as soon as she sat next to me and put her seatbelt on, I within seconds, the tail dropped, and we literally, I mean, I was facing straight up, and the plane just fell at free fall, and the worst thing about it is my first inclination was that I turned my phone off, and then I turned it back on, and I called my mom, and the call went through, and I wasn't expecting her to answer. I was going to leave a voicemail, and she answered the call, and she heard the screaming and everything. And then so when we hit so hard, we came in sideways, we came in sideways, and there were a bunch of fire trucks down on the airport runway. I think they were expecting impact, but he leveled it out, I think, just perfect. And we kind of came in sideways. The front wheel broke off. But when we hit, it hit so hard that my phone went dead. And it took him about an hour and a half to shuttle us from the plane back to the airport. So for an hour and a half, my poor mom thought I was a goner. So,
oh my God.
Yeah, it was intense. But she, in all honesty, she had the worst out of the whole situation, not me. So, but hey, I got on my connecting flight. Everyone was telling me not to, but I told myself, if I don't get on this connecting flight, I'm never going to fly again. So I'm glad I did.
Nobody got hurt or like anyone. No. I mean, sorry, hurt. I'm sure, but I mean, nobody passed away or anything.
No, we were very lucky. A lot of people, I think, were in shock. I think everyone was kind of banged up a little bit, but like no one was like rushed to the hospital or anything like that. Which would kind of excuse my language, it pissed me off because there was nothing on the news. I mean, nothing. I mean, I was expecting, like, not that I wanted the attention, I just wanted validation. And it literally, in my opinion, it was when the airlines were really having a tough time. COVID hit, flights were being canceled left and right. And I seriously think they probably were, you probably had one person doing 5 people's jobs. And the media wasn't going to do anything because of the trouble that the airline was going through. But that's kind of my take on it. But, I got on the nautical aviation website, and where it actually has any kind of like emergency landing like that has to be documented, and it was all there, black and white. So, but yeah, it was definitely a memorable experience. So didn't mean to go on a big wormhole tangent about that, but
wow, thanks for sharing that. But never mind, everyone's gonna be watching this now. It's gonna go viral. Everyone's gonna talk about now.
Hey, I'll tell you, nothing against American Airlines. Everyone said I wouldn't fly American Airlines again. American Airlines saved my life that day. I'm very grateful to them. And I still like Delta better, but I'm all for American Airlines as well.
Wow, amazing. Thanks so much for sharing these personal events. My God, it's and your mom, she was okay when you talked to her. What was her first reaction when you called her? My God.
Yeah, she well, my dad was out in the yard, and he heard her screaming. He walked in, and she was literally on the kitchen floor, like laying down crying, and like she couldn't get a hold of me. So I think she was happy. I thought she was gonna be pissed that I called her and put her through that worry, but she said that she to this day she's very glad that I called. So
I'll tell you something now. There is a question. The magic. Actually, I just it's funny saying the story. I mean, not funny, but interesting because there is a question on the magic box asking if your plane was going down, who would you call? You could call just one person.
I'm embarrassed that it was my mom, but hey, I'm a mama's boy. I'm a mama's boy. Never thought I'd say it out loud, but I guess I am.
Oh, amazing. Right, Jason. So are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and to share your point of views?
Absolutely. I'm ready.
Amazing. So welcome to William and the Magic Box. I've got I love the box full of random fun questions, okay? I'm just gonna play a song now just for us to get a little bit in the mood before the first question, okay?
I like it.
Let's do it. Let's do it, Jason. Right, Jason, ready for the first question?
Yes.
Let's
Fire
do
away.
it. Just to inform you, if there is a question that you don't have an answer for, you don't want to answer, always can change, okay? It's all very friendly, right? The first question is, what three things do you want to be remembered for?
Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, I'm all for I feel like when people pass away, they're still alive as long as you talk about them and you keep their memory alive. So I like this question. I'm definitely one to make people laugh. That is something I pride myself in. Is I can generally I'll kind of two things that come to mind right off the bat. Make people laugh. I really try to make sure that everybody in the room that I'm in is comfortable. So reading emotional intelligence and being a chameleon to kind of adapt to them, who they are, but just making everything a cohesive, organic, and a symbiotic experience. But laughter, comfortableness, and I don't know if I really want to be known for this, but I don't want to be known for this, but I know I will be. But I'm kind of perverted. I kind of tell dirty jokes, and they tasteful at times, but depends on how many bourbons I've had. That kind of goes into how I make people laugh, right?
Absolutely. I think it's a gift when people they have this thing of making people happy and laugh. I think it's a gift. It's a genuine gift for sure. I believe that. Next question, Jason. Let's do it. Right. Next question for you is, what have you learned during this coronavirus crisis?
I'm definitely an extrovert. It's I'd say like a good 3 months. I think when it really hit hard for me, I live in an area called the Highlands in Louisville, and it's kind of bougie and it's bustling. There's local restaurants and bars. There's always people walking up and down the streets, and bars don't close until 4 a.m. here, so it's always got people up and down. And I was walking my dog the day, I think, when everyone's supposed to be have isolation or the home. I think we had 14 days of home isolation where you're not supposed to leave. And I was walking my dog before curfew hit, and literally not one car, not one person. And it freaked me out. Because I'd never felt that alone in my entire life. And there was so much ambiguity back then. We didn't know what we were dealing with. So I didn't know how long I was going to be at my house by myself. It ended up being 3 months because I worked from home, didn't see anybody. It was awful. To all the other extroverts out there, it's when you feed off other people's energy and being around people and you're isolated, it's hell. So yeah, I learned that I was an extrovert, but hey, we prevailed and we're back, baby. We're back.
Yes, for sure. I think if someone would tell in 2019, if someone would come up to me and say, William, in 2020, the world will stop, I would laugh. I would like, what? I wouldn't believe at all.
I'm with you right there, William.
But I think that we are so human beings. They are so interesting, fascinating that we find a way to survive. You know what I mean? I think a lot of creativity came out of this challenge time for sure. A lot of people around the world, on TV, social media, so many people reinvented themselves and tried to find a way to, spread the positivity around. I think it's the good part.
Yeah, definitely. And I think for me, it made me realize everything I took for granted, like going to concerts and music shows. I eat, breathe, and sleep music. But it also enabled me to appreciate things that I never did, and that's a sunset, a sunrise. I mean, there's little things that I would just not even pay attention to because everything else I was able to enjoy the beauty of that. So some good. I try to look at the silver linings of everything, and that's what I took from it.
Very good, very good. Next question. Let's do it. Good one, very good. Next question for you is, what do you think is a good age to start dating and why?
A good age. Well, oh man. I'm going to say, just to protect all the people that gravitate towards the younger ones, 18. Um, I don't, I'm all about a connection. If there's a connection, whether it's a man, whether it's a female, I'm attracted to everybody. So but age can get, it's 16 in Kentucky. That's a little archaic. Yeah, I think 18. I think 18 is a good age where you're an adult enough to, when you mess up and you screw up, you can pick yourself back up and go with it. 18 is my answer.
Very good, very good. I think as long as people, they are safe, they feel like they are safe, you know what I mean, out there, I think there are no rules, let's say. But yeah, I think 18, as you said, just to make things clear and to make this, you know what I mean, in a safe place.
I'm 0 for 3, man. I've been in 3 serious long-term relationships, and I'm starting to think I'm the common denominator of why those didn't work out. Seriously, when you get your heart broken, man, I mean, you got to be an adult. You got to have your head on, because if not, you got to have somebody there to help you pick up the pieces.
Absolutely, absolutely, I agree. Next one, let's do Jason. Right, before the next question, when you think about your hometown, Lexington, yeah, your hometown, what's the memories that comes to your mind, the good memories that come to you?
Oh man, high school and college. We were a little bit ahead of our time in high school. We were pretty rebellious. We were a rebellious class. We used to throw keg parties in high school, and we would go and pick. Lexington's full of horse farms. It's the thoroughbred capital of the world. Actually, I think one of the only places the Queen of England will visit is Kentucky, here in Kentucky, for the horse racing. I'll have to fact check me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's one of her. I'm pretty sure that's correct. Anyways, if not, I've been told wrong. But we're surrounded by horse farms, so we would go and pick out a random farm that was kind of off the beaten path, and we'd pass out maps that all the different high schools, and I'm talking hundreds of people out there. And looking back on it, it was very dangerous because we're all underage, right? But we'd have keg parties. Well, we accidentally picked Senator Mitch McConnell's farm, and we didn't know it. And so I guess he had some investigating done, and all of us guys got called into the principal's office and got scared out of us. So just I don't know. We were kind of born wild, raised wild, rebellious. Then I went to UK, University of Kentucky. Amazing university experience. Again, just a lot of wild times. But I think of Kentucky and Lexington, I think of beautiful, classy, curb appeal, just clean, pristine, beautiful horse farms, and drinking bourbon and betting on the horses.
Cheers.
Yes, cheers.
Right, next question for you is, where do you want to be in 10 years time from now?
to be in 10 years' time? You know, I don't think I'm ever going to be able to retire. So I do love to travel, but I want to still be involved in some way. I feel like I've seen so many people retire, and then I see them a year or two later, and they've aged like 10 years. So, you know, staying relevant, staying young, and staying, I think you age by mental. You know, I really, you know, I have a young soul. I would definitely say my soul age, meaning, you know, you hit an age and you stay that age for the rest of your life. I'd say, you know, 33, maybe even 27. But I think I would want, in 10 years from now, I'd want to have enough money to where I can invest in something that is going to continue to bring money. So some sort of business that's not going to be a huge headache, but I can stay relevant, stay busy, keep my gears grinding, and but making some cash flow so I can go do the traveling that I do like to do. So,
you consider yourself a businessman?
oh yeah, definitely. I'm a risk taker. You know, I operate professionally. I operate with integrity, bias for action, and I act like I own the business when I'm making those decisions. And I'm also a risk taker, but you know, educated risk.
Nice.
And I pride myself in that, and I think I owe a lot to that, to my success, to where I'm at today.
Very good, very good. Next question. Let's do Jason.
Good question.
I think if I would have a glass of bubble by my side, I'll be like, welcome to William, the magic box. Like,
Yeah.
Next question for you is, what do you think people need to know about each other before they get married? Ooh.
I for one, firmly believe that a successful relationship is in the bedroom and outside the bedroom. So for those people that do that, I think abstinence is I think it's archaic. More power to you if you do it, but I think your sex life your sex life is going to determine whether or not you're happy outside the bedroom. So unconditional love. You've got to have unconditional love. There's so many people out there now, and I used to have this mentality that, you know, when something breaks, you just get it new. You know, you just get something new. That's what we do in life. But knowing that at the end of the day, relationships, there's been times where I've looked at my boyfriend and I've literally looked at him and I'm like, oh, just disgusted. Like, what in the hell am I doing? Why am I with him? Literally 30 days later, I'll be looking at him and I'm just going to be like, I mean, he's the most amazing person on this planet. Like, I'm so in love with him. Roller coaster. So you got to know when you hit those lows,
Yeah.
it's going to take work. You're going to come back up and riding high. So making sure that it's unconditional love, and then knowing that y'all can communicate and you're good in the bedroom.
Oh.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, I
Hey,
totally agree.
you know, our population depends on that.
I totally agree, Jason. I think, as you said, the roller coaster, you know what I mean? It's up and down. And I think if you need to adjust yourself to the moments, to the crises when they come, or even to the happiness moments as well, I think you need to be able to deal with that. Not just with, you need understand as well, put yourself in your partner's shoes. And also, I think relationship is a maintenance, you need to maintain maintenance, like every single day or stage of a relationship, you know what I mean? A challenge will come, and you just need to face it, to see how you're gonna deal with that, and together, always together.
Conquer it together, yeah. And I'm gonna add one. Know your love languages. So know, you know, the 5 love languages. I think it's words of affirmation, quality time, gifts, touch, and acts of services. So I like to receive touch and I like to receive acts of services, but I give gifts, words of affirmation, and acts of services. So you gotta make sure that those align.
Actually, I had a guest, on the show from Florida, and he said the same thing about those five languages. It's a book. It's a book.
They're vital.
Yeah,
they're absolutely vital.
he said the same as well. The same. They interviews out. You can check it out. I'll send you the link. Very interesting.
Do that. I honestly, I've been watching since last night, and I finally subscribed, by the way. So, but
thank you.
Oh no, it's my pleasure. I love it. I mean, it's just, I could watch it all day. It's interesting hearing random people ask random questions and their answers, and where I align and where I don't align. But no, it's very interesting.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Just made my day now. My Saturday is done.
Hey, you made my morning, man. I had my entertainment. So.
Oh, next question. Next question for you is, what is the most dramatic argument you ever had?
So basically the argument was, we basically for 2 years, you're with somebody and you're friends with benefits, you're going to start to develop feelings on both sides. And we both have feelings, but they're not wanting to pursue it and they're running from it because they're scared. And I get it. And I told him, I said, look, you don't ever come out for anybody, not even me. Like, don't come out for me. That is your story to tell. Mm-hmm. However, for my sanity, I have an expiration. I don't know when that is, but I'm going to hit a point where I just can't do it anymore. But, and I like this person so much. Like, I even said, you know what? Screw it. I can deal with the fact that you're in the closet. I can deal with that the rest of my life. But what I can't deal with is that you're undeniably in denial of who you are as a person. And that's just going to have to take time. And it sucks because we just met at the wrong time. I just met a little bit down. It would have been an amazing, beautiful thing. But, it is what it is. And it's the cards I was dealt, and he's dealt with. But I continue to be there for his support. Yeah, I'm telling you right now, especially in this side of the country, I'm in the South in Kentucky. It can get very rural, and the Bible Belt, I guess is what they call it. And I wouldn't say I personally, but I've been heavily involved with. They were suicidal, and this is probably the fourth person that I've encountered, and it's sad. I mean that we're to this day that terrified still, or not. I'm saying we as me and my peers, but it's sad. I mean, it's that people are willing to still end their life. So being supportive at the same time as being pissed off is crucial. So, but yeah, that's probably the biggest argument, the most that I've had recently.
You said two things interesting, Jason. One of the said, actually, before we were saying about relationships in the previous questions, I almost asked you, do you think people meet each other in the wrong time? But you already answered now. Sometimes you meet the person in the wrong time, let's say, period. But other things I would like to ask you is, as you mentioned about the States, people still close, the closet. What do you think is about religion, or what's the main thing? Do you think Kentucky it's still kind of behind?
Yeah, so it's we have a large Catholic presence. We also have a Southern Baptist presence. It's literally in the upsetting thing for me is it's very contradictory. I'm religious. I don't want to paint the picture that I'm not. I'm just not necessarily for mass, like group religion or mass religion, because basically they've taken this idea, one person's idea a long time ago, and it has been mass produced. It has become so powerful that people haven't even picked up the Bible or even know what the Bible says, but they know that being gay is a sin because the Bible says so. Well, if you really drill down, it says, "Thou shalt not lie with a boy," and it does not say man. It says, "Thou shalt not love with a boy," and that it goes back to the Greek and Roman culture where pedophilia was common. Like a man, before a man was going off to manhood, they were expected to be with an older man, and it's not a symbiotic situation. So I'm glad that it's no longer. But it's been taken out of context, and now you have people committing suicide over it, and it's just like you got to get real. Let's educate people. I tell my gay friends too, when you're around people that say stuff like that, don't get mad. Educate them. It's our job to educate people. And the more they're around people like us, but if you get real snippy back, I mean, we're not painting a great picture. We're creating a bigger divide. So,
Absolutely.
it's our job to educate. People aren't saying that because they're just mean and nasty people. They're saying that because that's all they know. So.
That's a very, very interesting point, Jace. I totally agree with you. I think sometimes we need to educate. Sometimes not even their fault. It's not about the knowledge they never had. Actually, I always mention guests, like sometimes I know that most of gay guys, they have a lot of issues with some of their parents or their dads. You know what I mean? And sometimes it's not even their fault. Sometimes, you know what I mean? It's the way they've been raised, the way the society, you know what I mean, taught them. It's the way they believe, and sometimes it's the way they want to protect you as well, not to be, you know what I mean, different. Sometimes it's always like that. It's always happened with the neighbor, with our other family. Never happened to our family, and when it happens, that's when they are not prepared to deal with. So and sometimes you said something very interesting. Sometimes you just need to understand and try to educate them, or at least to make them understand there's a different world out there. It's not just about this direction. It can be a wide direction as well. So that's what I believe. And sometimes as you said, of course, sometimes can be people that can be nasty in a way, but don't fight back the same way. Try to, you know what I mean? Just try kindly or not different. I know it's not easy because sometimes you get so frustrated, you know what I mean? It's easy to say now, but I understand. Sometimes you get blind. You just want to go, you know what I mean, straightforward, but sometimes not their fault. Sometimes I even say when somebody's trying to kind of annoy you or even hurt you with words, sometimes I go like, you know what, maybe it's the universe used then to see how you're gonna deal with the situation or how you're gonna approach the situation. You know what I mean? It could be the universe just trying to
I think the hardest thing, and I still don't know this fully, but I think when I can't remember a time where I didn't like. Like I said, I've always liked both, but I've definitely gravitated more towards men. But I feel like I was born this way, and for me, I'm also a biology major or minor rather, environmental science major. But I almost feel like it's nature's way of population control. I mean, you have other species that do it, and going back, kind of want to circle back to it. What I explain it to people is, especially the religious people, is love is God created love, right? So why would He allow us to use or borrow that love? As long as it's a symbiotic situation and both parties want to love each other, and good comes out of it. I actually talked to a Catholic priest at the church next door, and I mean, an older priest, and he said. And I asked him the question, do you think homosexuality is immoral, or do you think it's a mortal sin? And he said, it is so gray. And he said, I've been a priest for this congregation for over 20 years now, and I've had multiple gay couples come through the congregation. And all I can tell you, Jason, is that I don't see anything but good out of it. You got two people that love each other. Love is love. And, we don't like change. We don't like anything that's different. I get that. But it's, I'm not going to go down a wormhole. But I also think that there is some perversion in the gay culture. that I don't associate with. I mean, it's I should be able to take my 5-year-old niece to a gay pride festival and say, hey, this is who Uncle Jay is. This is kind of who we are. And I can't do that. And I think there's nothing wrong with the furry side. Don't get me wrong, I kind of like that aspect of it, but I think there needs to be a line. I think we need to blur the lines a little bit better when it comes to our culture.
Yeah, sometimes as well, we are the gay community, you know what I mean, bisexual, gay, all the community, we always strive to respect, but we need to show respect as well. We need to understand that some people out there, they're not used to it, to see those things. Like sometimes you can be very aggressive the way you express yourself, and sometimes that makes it even worse, because people, they, you know what I mean, for them it's like they not got used to see that, or they never seen something like that before. And if you're gonna educate them this way, they're not gonna get the message anyway. So what's the point? I think the point needs to be, as I touched before, I mentioned before, go try to find a way in a nice way, you know what I mean? It's a nice way. Give a compliment first before you pass your message. Give a compliment for the person to open their minds.
Absolutely.
And when they're gonna get the message. But if you go straight away to fight back, you're gonna be just like, both of them gonna be like just doing like that to each other, not gonna get the message.
Well, and again, I won't say names, but I'll say this too. It is a Kinsey scale. I think that your sexuality is as unique as your fingerprint. I really truly believe that. I've been with more people that claim to be straight than I have with people that claim to be homosexual, and I think they find comfort in me because, and maybe because I don't know, I consider myself not flamboyant, but they find some common ground, and all my guy friends are straight. I have gay friends and I love them, but like my real close friends are straight, and I think a straight guy that messes around with a gay guy doesn't make him gay. It makes him curious. And a lot of these guys are one and done. They did it, they kind of liked it, but they won't ever do it again because they like women. But I'm finding out the older I get, the population of the bisexual that fall in the bisexual range is a lot bigger than what we think.
I don't know what I think about, let's say, like in 100 years time. I think not gonna have any more this kind of gender. It's gonna be, everyone's gonna like both. I think.
Thank God.
Somehow.
Can I please be reborn into that era? It'd be so much fun.
And you're gonna have the magic box again. You're gonna meet somehow. You're gonna do the magic box.
Hey, I'm all for it.
And you're gonna have a different conversation about it. Next question, Jason. Let's do it. Okay, next question for you is, what season of the year you feel more connected with and why?
Man, it's a hard one between spring and fall for me. I'm going to say fall, just simply because you think of the name Jason. You take the month, that's my name, obviously. If you take July, August, September, October, November.
Wow.
Jason.
Wow.
So, and I also love the fall. I think the fall is great. It's, summer's coming to an end, but it's also kind of in a symbiotic way, kind of depressing because everything's dying. But also, death doesn't have to be a bad thing, because winter's coming. And then spring, which everything comes back alive. So it's just a cycle of life. So I live in an area where we have all 4 seasons. I do like that aspect. So I end up moving to Florida. I'm gonna miss that. But fall all the way, because you got football, tailgates. Fall.
Always my favorite season of the year as well. My birthday is going to be next week, so.
Happy birthday! Early. Mine's November 26th.
Yes, wow. So you're not Scorpio.
We're Valentine babies. Our parents had us on Valentine's Day.
Yes. But I'm from Brazil. No, in Brazil it's different. Brazil is the Carnival in February, so the maternity.
Oh, that's even better. Carnival, yeah, man, hell yeah.
So I was talking to a friend the other day about it. I said, do you know which month of the year in Brazil the maternities, they are full of pregnant ladies? She was like, what? I said November, because the carnival is in March, February.
Love it. That's hilarious.
In the fall is actually London now. It's beautiful. London, we're in the fall now, and it's just a beautiful place to be.
I'm going to come out there and experience it myself. I have a good friend of mine. She actually gave up her U.S. citizenship. She married a guy in England, but she lives in London. She loves it. So definitely an international city for sure.
Very good.
It's great. Melting pot all the way.
Cool. So when you have a free time in Florida, just get a plane and come to London.
I'm coming. I'm going to bring you a bottle of bourbon.
Yeah. Oh, yes. I'll make sure I don't book any interviews for that weekend or that day.
Well, actually, I think it'd be more interesting to see you do the interviews with a bottle of bourbon.
I think on the first sip, I'll be already gone. Next question. Jason, before the next question, tell me, okay, your career as a businessman, what's the most challenging part and what do you like the most about being a businessman?
So basically my portfolio, I'm in 5 different states. So my portfolio is, got Wichita, Kansas City, Missouri, St. Louis, Chicago, and where else am I? Oh, Louisville here. And so basically, I have on-site teams. I have managers that manage the assets, and they have teams that report to them. Then they report to me, and then I report to our vice president. I really like basically. So I essentially supervise a team of 36 people. So I lead and I coach. I don't manage. I think managing is an archaic means of supervision. I think I have the lowest turnover in my portfolio than the entire company. Really because I empower my employees to make decisions and to feel like they're a part of the equation. No one wants to be micromanaged. But I tell all my managers, they call me with a problem. I tell them, I'm your solution approver. I'm not your problem solver. If you're coming to me with a problem, you need to have how you want to fix it. Then I'm going to help guide and coach you to what fits our company culture and our business model best. But I pride myself because people want to come to work. They like their job, and I make it fun. So I've had in a time where a lot of property management companies were becoming irrelevant and losing business. My portfolio, my team, and myself, we grew our portfolio as a company 2,000 apartment homes, which is kind of a big deal. So that was very rewarding. So just setting goals, attainable goals, but my motto for 2021 was let's quit talking about it and let's do it. Okay, quit talking about it, do it. It's don't try implies failure. Be like Nike and just do it.
And what's your model for 2022? Already have in mind or not?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I put the spot now, yeah? I know. Magic Box. Let's participate in the William the Magic Box. That's the 2022. Let's be part of it.
Usually that's like a last minute. It's
Is it genuinely thoughts that comes like automatically in your mind, like the end of the year, around Christmas, yeah?
So yeah, quit talking. So my last one was quit talking about it and do it. Maybe this one's gonna be, oh man, I don't know. I'm gonna have to marinate on that one for a minute.
Have another seat.
I'll be thinking of it in the back of my head before we're done.
Okay, and before that, just have another sip and you'll be fine. Next question for
play hard, play hard. No, I don't know. We'll think of it.
All right. Next question is, what is your favorite guilty pleasure TV show?
I'm gonna go with You. I'm gonna kind of be a little girl. Are you familiar with You on HBO? No?
Nope.
Well,
What's
it
about?
was Game of Thrones. I'd say Game of Thrones was definitely like man, that was such a badass series. I think the ending sucked, but you is about and everyone that if whoever watches this, the majority of the people are going to know what I'm talking about. I would hope, but it's an HBO series, and it's about this guy who's like a librarian in New York, who's creepy. Like he's creepy, but you're seeing it from his perspective. Like creepy, like he like stalked this girl, and knew everything about her and was like following her home and like, just some creepy. Excuse my language, but anyway, he ends up getting the girl and dates her, but he has to like hide like all these things that he did that was so creepy, and it gets really intense. Like I think he ends up killing her, but I think the reason why everyone likes the show is because everyone has thought to do some of the things, the creepy things, like, oh, she's not answering her, like, I'm gonna drive over there and see if she's there. You know what I mean? Like, there's things that I think we think to do that but that kind of divides the line between us and the crazy people. Is that we say, no, that's not right. That's not right. We shouldn't do it. And I've had to talk myself out of, doing some like creepy, not creepy, but some fact checking is what I call it, fact checking. But you know what? The thing is like it's more than that though. It's a good show. It keeps you on your, it's pins and needles. It's very high intensity. But I'm going to tell you what I am going to start enjoying is Dexter. I don't know if you know Dexter either, but Dexter's coming back. Well, I think it just started last Sunday.
It rings a bell. Yeah, it rings a bell. I heard about it. I haven't watched it, but somebody mentioned about it as well. I think it's something on.
Well, you and Dexter, that's your homework assignment.
Great. Yes, I'm gonna watch and I'm gonna think of you to see what was you in the message there. Like what?
Like, damn, Jason's creepy.
Jason, I have 3 questions left for you. Okay?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
You're showing me up.
Yeah. Okay, next question for you is, what do you think are the best traits for a person to have?
Looks. No, I'm joking. Honestly, there's been people that I've found not attractive at all, in passing. And then when I've gotten to know them, I've just been like, oh my God, dude, they're so hot. Just personality. I mean, personality is it's weird because I say that, but I gravitate towards introverts. But I think that's more selfish reasons. I think I'm so thirsty for attention. I don't want anybody else to steal it.
I love your honesty.
I'm gonna stop drinking this bourbon because that truth is coming out. I would say
drink more, keep drinking.
I would definitely say, I mean, just someone that's genuine. You can tell. I think when someone genuinely likes who they are, there's a reflection on the life. I think someone generally likes who they are. You can tell, and when you don't, you can read between the lines. And I think somebody that is confident and not everyone's born that way. That's a road that everyone has to figure out themselves. Some find that, travel that road faster than others, but just be confidence and truly liking who you are as a person, I think, is the sexiest thing that's out there. So genuine and trustworthy. Someone that has good moral backbone. So, yeah. And someone that's not going to put up with my.
I think that I think people, as you said, I think people when they are themselves is a big attraction, because people, even if they don't know you, they can spot when you are, if you are being yourself, or if you are like playing a, you know what I mean, a character that you're not. So I think it's visible, and you can spot straight away when someone are genuinely themselves. I think it's very easy. It gives a lot of attraction for sure, because people go like, oh, it's a rare, it's a not rare, like a rare person.
I'm glad you feel me.
2 questions left. Let's do it. Next question, Dayton from Kentucky. I'm gonna skip this one. Look, we already talked about. Tell me something interesting about yourself. You already said at the beginning, so I'm gonna change the question. Yeah. I'm going to get know about you. Tell us about your guilty pleasure.
I'm going to be honest. So this is the first time that I've been out and single. And you know, I basically was dating a girl when I was dating a girl and when I broke up with her, I started dating the first guy already. So I was in a 5-year relationship with him, and then we broke up. I was single 6 months, and then I met my last boyfriend of 7 years. And so, we broke up 3 years ago. So this, it took me about a year and a half to get to a place where I could be back on. I was pretty devastated after that one. But now that I'm out and single, I would say my guilty pleasure is I'm quality over quantity. So don't take this the wrong way. I would say, sex is definitely my guilty pleasure. I don't know, man. I'm going through my slut phase.
Good, very good.
I'm a late bloomer.
Very good, very good. I like your honesty. That's what matters, You're just
I told myself I was going to be honest during this interview. So I think I've been overly honest. So.
Very good, very good. I like that. Right, let's go for the last question, Jason. Let's do it. Before the last question, Jason, I can see that you're very open about your sexuality, about your, your desires and everything about sex. Did you always have the support of your family when you, let's say, when you came out as gay, or when you kind of, Okay, you said, okay, this is me, what I like, and girls, boys, but are you open about it? Did you have the support? How things went when you decide to be more open or more expressive about your sexual life or your desires in life?
Yeah. No, I honestly, I appreciate this question because, so I think I was basically coming out wasn't an option for me. I was a person, when I said earlier that, a person, you can tell when a person is fake and doesn't love themselves, and that was me. And it was to a point to where basically like I wasn't coming out. I don't want to get too dark, but coming out wasn't an option. So I had a plan, and I plan on acting on that plan, and it's I pretty much I just couldn't. I was terrified that I was going to lose my family, my friends, everything. So I think I'm trying to remember how this went down. Oh, yeah. So basically, I had said something to a really good friend of mine. Again, I'm not going to say any names. And she looked at me. This was in I think my sophomore year in college. And she looked at me. She said, "Oh my God, you're gay." And I said, "What?" She goes, "You're gay." And I was like, "No, I'm not." And I couldn't stop smiling when I was like, "No, I'm not." And she's like, yes, you are. And I was like, blah, blah, blah. Please don't say anything. Like, I mean, and like, I was kind of freaking out. And she just like hugged me and was like, everything's going to be fine. Well, she thought that it was in her best interest to go tell everyone. And so, yeah, she outed me. And like, I remember being at work and getting a phone call, and like two of my good guy friends were like, hey, I heard you're gay, but I want to hear it from you. I want to hear it from you. And you know, this is early 2000s. So not saying it, I mean, and especially in this, geographical area, I mean, it's come a long way. So it was not well perceived. And I remember at that very moment, like, I mean, I would have never committed suicide, but like, I think at that moment, like, that was my first thought. Like, I mean, I got to end it. And I was terrified, but you know, people, because of that, honestly, saved my life. I mean, it really did, because it saved my life because it forced me to deal with what I was never going to deal with. And I was very quick to learn that no one gave it. Like, honestly, like, they already loved you. Your friends loved you. Your family loves you unconditionally. That's the one thing that we have on our side. And the one thing I think that made it easier for everybody, and this is why I really feel like that gay men that are more flamboyant have such a harder time and a harder path, because of being flamboyant. And there's nothing wrong with being flamboyant. I have very good friends that are, but I think they have a harder road to go walk down, because it's more in your face of, this is who I am. But I told myself the moment that I realized that I was gay, that I wasn't going to let it define who I was as a person. That I'm very proud of being gay or bisexual or whatever spectrum anybody wants to put me in. But I want it to be the least interesting thing about me. There's so much more to me than, oh, Jason, the gay guy. I mean, no one would ever say that about. I mean, I'd rather be Jason and he's, or Jason, the guy, the funny guy that, you know, I just never want to be Jason, the gay guy. I just don't want, it's just, that's a part of me, but it's just a tiny bit of who I am. So I think that made it easier I came up to my friends, and I did not come out to my parents, I think, until 3 years later. My dad was the last one. My mom took it well. My sister took it well. My mom was a little confused, I think, again, uneducated when it came to that, but she got past that very quickly. My dad was the hardest, and this is going to be some advice to all you all out there. And this was not on purpose. This was on accident. But I basically had to set a date, because I kept going back to quit talking about it and do it. I kept saying, oh, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And then a month would be around. My sister and mom would be like, what's going on? And I'd be like, oh, I'm going to do it. I finally said, you know what? I'm going to set a date. And I said October 16th. And it was October 16th, 2011. And I knew that was D-Day for me. And I remember my sister and my mom wanted to be there. The scariest thing ever is that right before I asked my mom, I said, Mom, how's Dad going to act? How's he going to respond? And she said, Jason, for the first time in my life, I don't know. I can't give you the answer, which made it even worse. So when my dad got called, I was like, Dad, I need to talk to you. He's out in the backyard. And he came up the stairs. And I don't know why, but my first emotion was, I just started crying.
Oh.
And I was bawling like uncontrollably, like, and then my mom and my sister both started crying. So my dad's like walking in the room. He's thinking, who did he kill? Where are we hiding the body? Like, what is going on? And then we were all crying, and I said, Dad, I need to tell you something. And I was like, I'm gay. And he was like, that's what this is all about? He was like, and my dad is a very conservative, like, and he literally looked at me and he said, son, he's like, all your mother and I ever want is for y'all to be happy. It's like, I don't understand it. I don't get it. Don't expect me to embrace it, but I love you. And the
Amazing.
whole embrace part, him and my ex-boyfriend were closer than me and him. He embraced it a whole lot. So,
Oh,
but yeah, I think it was a struggle. It was the scariest time of my life. But to everyone out there if anybody actually watches me, but no one gives a shit, man. Like the people that you think you're gonna lose aren't. You're not gonna lose. They love you. So just man up or grow up and have a 30-minute difficult conversation, not difficult for anybody but you, and live the rest of your life. I mean, that's all I gotta say. Sorry, that was a long-winded answer.
no, I love it. I love it. There are two things that I'd like to point out in your answer. About the fun boys, I totally agree with you. I think those boys, they, first of all, I actually admire them a lot because they know it's not going to be easy to be themselves, to expose themselves the way they do. And second, you need to be brave because there are so many gay guys around there. They pointed out as well, but they would like to be like them. Do you know what I mean? There are so many gay guys around there. They go like, oh, this, you know, our community as well. There are so many judgments, you know what I mean? Judgmental as well. And when people come up to me and said, oh, look at this guy, I said, you know what? I acknowledge them because they are so brave. They are themselves. They want to be
They're
themselves.
braver than me.
Totally. I know.
They're braver than me because they don't care. Like
They don't
I feel
care
like
at all.
I somehow masked those traits. I think just being scared and playing boy people are like I don't give a this is who me.
Yes,
This is who I am.
absolutely. I not admire those boys. I think they are so brave.
Absolutely,
They're
100%.
funny. They can be funny. They can be character. You know what I mean? People they can come. In the end of the day, they are themselves, and that's what's matter. They are facing society. They are facing their family. They are facing the world itself down the street.
Absolutely.
But they don't care. They go out there and they just live their lives the way they are, and it's just like I just found you know what I mean, beautiful
100%.
and brave. Other thing, if you could go put the time back in your life on the exactly moment when this girl, your love friend at the time, she, you know what I mean, put the news out in the way it meant to be. Would you change that, or you are grateful that happened that the way?
I immediately forgave her because I knew her intentions. It was devastating. Like it was awful. I wouldn't change it because the other alternative was I was going to commit suicide. And had she not done that, I don't think I'd be here. I think eventually everyone starts getting careless and lazy, and I think it's almost a subconscious cry for help. And I think I would have eventually. That would have been. I think I would be here. I don't know if I would have ever done that. And it's such a touchy subject with a lot of people that are struggling with it. But it's not the answer. It's absolutely not the answer. And I can tell you this: I look back on even the thought of doing that, and it's almost embarrassing because like, I mean, I've had so much of this awesome life. I would not change who I am. I used to pray to be like, wake up one morning straight. I love who I am. I don't want to be straight. It's boring.
Very good.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I remember being a child as well, like the church, like praying in the church, because I didn't have information, didn't know anything. So the society thought, you know what I mean? Maybe it was wrong. And I remember praying during the mass that I just didn't want to I just didn't want to feel that because I thought it was wrong at the time. But other thing I'd like to add to that as well, Jason, I believe that parents, they know their child very well. And I think as well, it depends your background, depends the way you're being raised. I believe that there are, through this program, this platform, I've heard like lovely, interesting stories about people, how they came out. But there is one that's someone from America, someone from Texas, Houston, Texas, and he said something he's a lawyer, and he said something very interesting that I found so, I always tell people about that because I found so creative. the way he came out. He was, I think, 19, 20 years old, and he got a brother as well. And they were traveling during Christmas time. What their treats? Their parents, they were traveling to Mexico, around the world, like during Christmas time. Just 4 of them, his brother, him, and their parents. Anyway, so they had a rule between them for Christmas present. They couldn't spend more than $10 between the Christmas present between them. So what this person did? He bought 3 gay movies, like 3 gay movies, not about sex, but like about gay life, about 3 gay movies, like inspiring gay movies. One for his brother, one for his mom, and one for his dad. Anyway, Christmas Day, they were there, Christmas Day, to wrap the present, and it was his turn to give away the present. So he was like, okay, this is my turn now, so I've got here your present for his mom, for his dad, and for his brother. They opened the present, and he was like, Merry Christmas, everyone. I just loved it. And he said, okay, I loved it. And he said, okay. Yeah. And so they opened the present and he said, I am gay. And he was like, okay, William. It was some tears around, you know what I mean? Of course, which is normal. It was emotional moments. But his brother said, okay,
man,
so let's...
that is such a creative, I love it.
I love it.
I'm going to share that story.
I just love it as well. And he was
You'll
like...
have to send me that interview. Send me that interview. Yeah.
I will for sure. I will. And he said, William, and my brother said, okay, so let's go to play cards in the next room. After this, I just love it. He was 19 years old. I just loved it. The way he, you know what I mean? The way, I think people there, you know.
That's creative. I got to give it to him, man. That's creative.
And he was so brave as well, because in a very special day, it's going to be forever in Christmas Day. It's going to be the memory, all the memory. He was so young as well. So through his life, you know what I mean? People always...
smart.
Yeah, very smart.
Because it's like that. It's like they can't get mad at me on Christmas.
I love it. I just love it.
That's why he's an attorney, because he's smart.
Yeah, and he's and actually he was very close to his dad as well. During the it's a very emotional interview, because he gets very emotional, and I believe as well, Jason, that's the magic box. I mean, the questions are all here, and I believe that the right questions come to the right people, and the questions to him was mostly about you know what I mean, his life and everything. And he said, William, I don't know if it's the moment of my life, but he got emotional a lot of time through the interview, and I just love. He's a very intelligent guy, very, very well educated. You know what I mean? I think he comes like very wealthy family, I believed. But I just love the way he, you know, the creativity. I'll send to you.
I am super excited to watch this, and
I'll send to you.
I'm the type of person to where if I'm watching somebody get emotional, I'm gonna get emotional.
So you're gonna love the interview, because it's very genuine, it's very open, like your it's very open, very genuine, and he talks a lot about his connection with his dad. Is just the best, just beautiful, the connection with his dad, the support and everything. I'll send to you after that.
Yeah.
Let's go for the last question. Let's go, Jason. Last question for you is, what is the strangest gift have you ever received?
Oh, actually, I have the gift.
Tell me.
I actually got it last. So we had a dirty Santa. Do you mind if I grab it?
Yes, please. Yes.
It's right next to you. It's actually it's sitting on the back of my toilet in the bathroom on the first floor here. But this is actually, it's 50 ways to eat cock, and it's a cookbook. How to cook chicken, but yeah. So, and I gotta grab. So yeah, so a cookbook, 50 ways to eat cock, and then this is in my bathroom, and it's artwork of different butts. Yeah, I definitely. There's also the little private parts too.
Amazing.
Yeah, so these are in my bathroom. So people, and it's funny because every time I hear one of my straight friends going there, they'll shut the door, and then I'll hear, they'll start to pee or whatever, and then I hear like a little laugh, because I can tell that they see the 50 ways to eat cock. Yeah.
Amazing. I love it. Jason, it's not the end yet, okay? Let's play now the word association game. I'm going to give away some words, and you just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking, okay? Let's start with family.
Um, camaraderie.
Money.
Job.
Love.
Unconditional.
Life.
Travel.
Sex.
Intimate.
Politics.
Left.
Religion.
Faith.
Fear.
Dark.
Friendship.
Right?
Desire.
Oh wow! I just thought of lust came to mind. I don't know why that did, but yeah,
Okay.
lust.
Regrets.
Crying.
Success.
Power.
How about wish?
Regret.
Happiness.
Love.
One word for your hometown, Lexington.
Lexington, Kentucky.
Say again?
Lexington, Kentucky. I said Sexington, Kentucky.
One word for Louisville.
Oh man, Louisville. One word. Thriving.
Okay. One word for Kentucky.
Bluegrass.
Okay. And the last one now. USA.
Pride.
Good. Very good. If I would meet your best friend now for a coffee, and if I would ask your best friend, define Jason in one positive word and one negative word only, what do you think your best friend would define you?
So positive, I would say would say loyal. Definitely loyal, 100%. I don't think anybody would say anything other. Negative, they would say late. I am late to everything, not professionally, just socially.
That's why you're late for the interview. I'm
Yes.
joking.
Wasn't I think I was actually early, an hour early.
You were for sure. You were.
All my clocks are 15 minutes fast, and I still can't get there on time.
If I
I
would
just have ADHD, and I'm like, oh, squirrel, like it's fast.
If I would ask the same question to your lovely mom, she would say the same?
My mom,
She would say the same, late and loyal?
she'd definitely say late. I think she would. I think she would just. I don't know. I think she would probably say compassionate.
Okay, good one. Right, so let's play now Jason and the Magic Box, and you can ask me a question.
So I get to ask you a question.
You can ask me a question now.
Okay. What? Can I ask how old are you?
I'm 39. Sorry,
All right.
38. 39 in next week. 39 next week.
So, if you could tell your 21-year-old self one thing to either watch out for, or one thing, a lesson in life, like, or you just tell them one thing, like you're going back in time, and you're gonna say, "Hey, blah 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 blah." What would it be? And say it in your best American accent.
Oh no, I'm horrible with American.
You don't have to do the American accent.
I even cannot do a British accent. Imagine American. I love it. I love it. I love it. I should ask you to answer one question in the British accent, actually. I should have asked you in the middle of the conversation if I knew that. Right, very good question, Jason, very good question. First of all, I left Brazil when I was 19 years old on my own. I came to Europe on my own, 19 years old. Oh my God, when I look back, it's like, wow, I sometimes miss this.
That's brave.
sometimes I miss this 19-year-old boy just traveling, you know what I mean? But anyway,
What do you
21
mean 19? Doesn't have to be 21. You're 19.
no, actually, I like 21. I like 21
Right.
because 21, I was already in Europe. And of course, I had already 3 years living in Europe. And I would say to myself that at the time, 21-year-old, I'll tell, I was living in Portugal, by the way. I lived in Portugal 5 years before coming to England. Yeah. So I'll tell myself 20 years, you know what? You're gonna have a lot of temptations in life in the future. You're gonna go because my personality is very, if you tell me something, William, let's drink now a bottle of bourbon, I'm like, yes, let's do it, you know what I mean? I'm kind of this personality. I'll tell myself, okay, in the future you're gonna have a lot of temptations in life. You just need to be careful, and you just need to not to make decisions in your life too fast, you know what I mean, like too quick. Stay back a little bit, sit down, count 1 to 10, sleep over on it, you know what I mean? And before you take any decision in your life, just take it easy. Don't go too fast. Don't play with emotions. Don't make any decision in your life with emotions, you know? Just try to think a little bit about it. Try to analyze a little bit, not too much, because you don't realize too much. Sometimes you can go in a very dark place as well when you analyze too much. Just, I would tell my 20 years old, okay, you know what? Don't make decisions in your life with emotions, you know? Try to think or overthink.
Like,
yeah. I'll tell that, because I think as I think when you are young, or you know what I mean, I still sometimes make decisions with emotions. But I think when I was younger, 21-year-old, I was living in Portugal, you know what I mean, and I thought that I was already, wow, I'm already in Europe. But moving to London when I was 24, I was like, my God, that was a totally different story. So yeah, I think I'll just give to myself, don't just don't make decisions with emotions. Try to, you know what I mean?
I like that a lot. I like that answer a lot. Now, do you mind if I ask you kind of just a quick one to segue off that? Do you think that the little small mundane decisions that you make, whether you take a right or a left, are just as impactful or as important as the big major decisions that we make in life?
Absolutely, totally. I think all of them count at the end of the day. You know what I mean? I wouldn't change like a little point of my. I think everything counts. Sometimes when you go through some tough times in your life, you don't see the message straight away. You don't see the message, but when you look back afterwards, you go like, you know what? I'm so grateful for that, because it just build the person that I am today. And I'm sure we're gonna do mistakes. Like we say that, but we're gonna do mistakes until the last breath of our life. You know what I mean? We're gonna make mistakes. But I think the good thing is, when you look at them, you understand them. They were part of it as well. Don't regret it. Just try to understand why you went through that, not to make the mistake again. But yes, totally. Oh my God, yes. I'm so thankful for everything. Absolutely.
It's funny because you and I have a completely different opinion on that. Because after you go back and tell yourself that to your 21-year-old self, I'm going to make sure I'm there, and I'm going to say, don't listen to that guy. I'm going to say, make impulse decisions. This is the only reason why I totally appreciate and I love your answer. But for me, it's like I will stew over something and I'll obsess over it, where I just like, you know what, just make a decision. And like, but no, I totally get what you're saying, and I can definitely appreciate that, because there were many times in my life where I should have really kind of just slowed down, take a few steps back, kind of marinate on it, and I didn't, and there were consequences for it, and but hey, we all learn from those.
Absolutely. No, but as I said to you, I would tell myself, I'm 21 years old, don't make decisions like with emotions, but I still do. You know what I mean? I would just warn myself just to be more ready in the future.
My sister gets so mad at me because I literally call her for advice, and every time I call her and she gives me advice, I always do the opposite of what she says. And she gets so pissed. But hey, it's the dynamic.
it's about intuition as well, Jason. I think I follow my intuition very hard. You know what I mean? I think intuition is it's so strong, our intuition, that sometimes you know that you are wrong, going to the wrong place, but you just do it because it's more pleasure or it's more risky. I don't know. We have those tendencies to sometimes go to the direction that you know that's not right, but we do it sometimes. And understand, I think, but intuition is very strong. I think the older you get, your intuition or the way you approach life. But when your personality is already there, you know what I mean, you're never gonna change it. You just sometimes, I agree with you. Sometimes you need to make decisions like with emotion. And actually, if I didn't, I wouldn't be here right now sitting with you and speak English, because actually one day I'm gonna write a book, how I went to Europe, 19 years old. I didn't have money for the plane tickets, didn't have money for anything. And I made it. And one day I'll write. Actually, I'm planning to write this experience, because it's just like
I would read it. I think I can tell you. Yeah. Oh my God. Hold on. And I'm sorry for running out of time, but real quick, this is and I didn't want to ask this question because I didn't want to be come off as narcissistic. But what drew you to choose me to interview? That was going to be my question, but then it was all about me, and I wanted it to be about you.
Because of your beautiful eyes.
Oh, okay. I love it.
I'll tell you something now. I've been inviting random people online. I believe literally the way I invited you is the way I invite most of the you know what I mean, the people. I believe, Jason, that people, they're so interesting. They have so much to tell, a story to tell, and I don't go through much in details of the person, because I like to know the person through the interview.
You're more apt to listen if you don't already know.
And of course, when they have beautiful eyes, always a plus. When they are kind of old, it's always a plus.
So which is weird because no one in my family has blue eyes, except for my mom's boss when I was born. So my sister used to tell me that I was her. That's a whole different thing.
There we go. Our paths crossed because of your eyes.
I'll take it. I appreciate that. You have a beautiful smile.
Oh, thank you. Jason, did you have a good time? Did you enjoy the interview?
I mean, I'm telling you right now, it literally, it's made my day. It's probably made my week. It was very just oddly therapeutic just talking to you. And I hope that something comes out of it, like whether, if anybody watches it and can kind of hear my story or anybody else's story. I think what you're doing is beautiful, and I think it's a genius, and I think it's definitely going to give back. Somebody's going to watch something and they're going to take away from it, and I think you're going to have more of an impact on people than you'll ever know. So.
Oh, thank you very much. Thanks for the sweet words. Thanks so much for being kind. Before you go, I would like to share a positive message or a positive quote, something that inspires you in life, in a British accent, please. I got back to you, see?
Let's see, here we go, hold on. United we stand, divided we fall.
Say again, sorry?
United we stand, divided we fall.
Absolutely.
So I said, united we stand, divided we fall.
Absolutely. Totally agree with you. Jason.
The worst British accent ever. United we stand, divided we fall.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
She's a fit bird, mate. She's a fit bird.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah, mate.
Jason, it was a pleasure. Thanks so much for the interview. I really enjoyed. Such a genuine, open-minded person. I really enjoyed. Thanks for sharing your memories in life. And we keep in touch, okay? For now, we are crossed now. Now there is no way to... You're already connected. That's it.
Absolutely. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of this. I am very appreciative of it. And I enjoy talking to you.
Thanks so much. Keep in touch, okay? All the best. Enjoy weekends.
You too. Amen.
Bye-bye. So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye. See you next time.